All right, we should be live. Ricky already coming in with the memes. 2 seconds in. 2 seconds in.
I wasn't ready for that.
Perfect.
We are finally redeemed. All of us are back. We got Ricky back, and yeah, we're coming off of a pretty good episode. I would assume you guys think. So we'll start out how we always do with our general thoughts. And since Ricky, you did not get to say your episode 3 or 4 thoughts, we'll go to you first. What did you think of episode 5?
I thought it was a really, really, really good episode. On my first watch, I kind of struggled a bit with the flashback, but then, they had 30 minutes. They had a very limited budget, and I think that was a very conscious decision to highlight, obviously the struggles that Dunk went through as a kid at this specific time during the trial. So it was a very bold choice to do that, I think. And for me, it worked. It didn't take away from the trial, and the execution of the trial of 7 was fantastic, chaotic, brutal. I think that might be the best fight scene that we've seen so far in anything Thrones related. Even though, he's getting stabbed and it's like very unrealistic, but it's a fantasy show, and I like that. I like that it was unrealistic but brutal, gory, and chaotic. So I'm a huge fan of this episode. I think that was a really, really good episode.
Agreed. I think that's some good thoughts, Ricky. Move on to Becky. What were your general thoughts for episode 5?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like, really, really solid. I knew that it would be like mainly focused on the trial, or that was what I was expecting anyway, and it definitely was. I wasn't expecting the flashbacks to be as long as they were. I felt like I liked them because of how it displayed Sir Arlen and how it displayed Dunk's trauma, which I think is so important. But I think it was a little bit long. Like, I feel like I didn't need to know as much about his childhood friend as we got, if that makes sense. A little bit long, but overall I did enjoy them, and I think that this was a really, really solid episode.
Agreed. I think this is a good point as well, which I won't expand upon too much. I'll let you go, JC. What were your general thoughts on episode 5?
Yeah, all in all, I think episode 5 was a pretty good episode. I do think I liked it a little bit less than episode 4, but I still thought it was a pretty good episode. The flashback there, like Becky mentioned, I thought was misplaced. I would have preferred to have seen that flashback in a previous episode. I think it would have made more sense if we had seen, the adventures of Dunk and Rafe in a, one of the more happier-go-luckier episodes in the first half of the season. I think it would have made more sense there, as opposed to here smack dab in the middle of the trial by 7, as I think it took away a little bit from the trial by 7 there at the beginning. But the contents of the flashback itself were pretty interesting. It's also in the novella. Briefly, for like a sentence, they expanded it here into a 10-minute flashback scene, which is fine. We get to learn a little bit more about Dunk's past and how he came to meet and know Arlen. So, it was good. But the trial by 7 was really, really cool. It was very cinematic. The musical choice to have kind of this muffled sound whenever Dunk was hit with Arion Bright Flame's mace, and he was kind of stumbling around drunk. I thought the musical choices there for that scene were pretty strong. All in all, yeah, pretty good episode.
Agreed. I agree with all of you. I think it was a pretty good episode. I think there was a lot of things done from just a technical perspective that were very good. The sound design was beautiful. The music was great. It looked fantastic. Like Ricky said, I think it's probably the best fight scene we probably had. I would say of both the shows. It was really fantastic the way it was done. I liked the way that the show didn't glamorize it like other shows in this universe at times, and it was very gritty. It was very dirty. It was very unpleasant to watch at times. I liked that. I do think, kind of similar to what some of you guys have echoed, if not all of you, is I do feel like the flashback, I just don't know if I would have placed it in this episode in the way they did it. Or if they would have done it, I think maybe intersplicing it just felt weird that the trial starts and then we're like, okay, half the episode we're not even focused on it. Even though, like, this is the weird part why I feel so conflicted about it, because I actually liked the flashbacks. I don't say that much about the television show. I liked the flashbacks. It's just I didn't like where they were placed. So that'd be like my main negative of the episode. I do agree with Crab though. I'm like, Dunk got stabbed like 8 to 9 times. I kind of feel like they over dramatized it a little bit, but I still think pretty good episode. I think I'm very similar to JC. I think it's probably a little below episode 4 for me personally. But I do want to ask you guys, since we just talked generally, what did you guys think? And we'll go with JC, so we'll go right back around the circle. What did you think overall of kind of the trial and maybe some of the changes, the way the fight happens very differently? Because like in the book, it's kind of brief. It happens very quickly. So what did you think of the way they handled it in the show?
I mean, all in all, I liked the trial by 7. It was very chaotic, very all over the place, similar to if one were in a real battle, they would be disoriented, things would be happening all around them and they couldn't tell what is going on. So they definitely captured that disorientation very well through Dunk's POV here through the trial. A lot of what they expanded on, I didn't have a problem with whatsoever. I mean, they needed to fill up 30 to 35 minutes worth of screen time here. So obviously they were going to expand more here on the trial by 7. But yeah, like you said, Grease, in the novella, all we really get is just kind of, Dunk being hit in the head. And then we later learn through Dunk being told that, like, oh yeah, by the way, Baelor Breakspear, he, these people died, and then Baelor died because part of his brain was, gooey and showing up in the back of his head. So to actually see that on screen, I thought was, it was good. I thought it was good. I don't know what else to say.
That is the problem when episodes are good. Usually it's hard to talk about certain things outside of saying we like them. But Becky, anything you want to add to that with the trial itself?
Yeah, so I actually loved the trial scenes. I actually feel like if the episode was like mainly just like the trial the whole way through without that long flashback in the middle, I feel like the episode for me would have been like almost perfect, because I loved it. Like I loved the shots. I loved the way that they did it. I loved that scene of like Dunk being on the floor and Eggs like shouting at him, "Get up!" And then it's like the flashback to Arlen saying, "Get up!" Like I loved that bit. The way his anger just comes through at the end as he's like smashing Arian's face in, like the whole thing, the camera angles, I absolutely loved all of the trial scenes. I thought they were great. Arian's armor, the lighting, like it just looked great. So yeah, I think the only thing for me that does let it down was just how long the flashback was. And like we say, if it was in another episode, I don't think it would have taken away from the trial, and then this episode would have been like the best, I think.
Agreed with you, Becky. Heading over to you, Ricky. Anything you want to add to all of that?
Yeah, I mean, the fight itself was very gory, dark, very brutal, and I like that. He got stabbed like 3 billion times, but still, it's I'm fine with it. I don't want to be the guy that shouts at, "Well, this is unrealistic," because you better get used to it, because the opening of the next episode it acts like that guy is just fine.
Oh god. Oh boy.
It's a very interesting opening, like we've never had on anything Thrones before. It's along the humor of the first 2, but not in the way you think it's like a jazz thing.
Fair.
But more yeah, it's like a there's like a saxophone playing, and then Lionel is just but yeah, it's a bit weird. So you better get used to him being stabbed a million times and it not mattering. But yeah, the fight itself, I really enjoyed it. They've changed Arion's outfit quite a bit, but I think it really, really looks awesome. Still has that rock star vibe to it,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
Agreed. I really enjoyed it as well. And so anything I'm about to say, like I enjoyed the episode, but there are things I looked at and I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Let it out, Grease. Let it out. Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear
It's
it.
a safe space.
So, okay. The thing is, I get it from in terms of if you're adapting this from the novella, you've got to fill out time. You've got to, it's one thing going from the book to going to a show. And the things I didn't like about the trial are kind of those things where it's like they definitely played it up a little bit, or it's like, oh, Dunk's getting stabbed 9 times. I don't know how he's still functioning, but he's still functioning. Okay, so that's fine. But then the part where, like, right at the end, where it's like Dunk, Aryan saying, Dunk's dead. He's gone. I'm just sitting here
He's dead.
I'm just like, Aryan, you have no honor. No, we know that. You don't care. So just stab the guy. He's laying there on the ground. You're obviously afraid of him. He's gone. Like, I don't know. So I was like, but it's for the big heroic moment for Dunk. So it's like, I get it. But at the same time, like, I don't love the way that was done. But for the most part, I did like the trial. I thought it was beautifully shot. It was gritty. All the things you guys parroted. Basically, I think the same, outside of I have maybe a little bit more issues with some of the way things were done. But yeah, I don't know. That's my general thoughts. Roast me in the comments if you'd like to. It's for the engagement. So anything you guys want to talk about the trial? Well, no, that's true. But
Summerhall's okay, but we'll probably get into that later, right? Or did you guys talk about the huge elephant in the room yet?
Summerhall?
I don't know when that came out.
Oh no, yes, we need to talk about that. Let's talk about that closer to the end.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's going to be heavy.
So you didn't talk
so
about it yet?
No, because we haven't done a stream yet for that.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we'll get there, Ricky. We'll get there. Anything you guys want to talk about on the trial, or you want to respond to anything I said before we move on to the flashbacks section of the episode?
What did you guys think of Baelor's death there at the end of the episode?
Oof. Well, I actually thought that I really enjoyed it because I was hoping that we would see the grittiness. Yeah, you need the kind me here. Someone else said as well that they're lucky I'm here to cheer everybody up.
Beautiful, beautiful, right there.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we saw Baelor looking like that, basically, because I was hoping that they wouldn't hold back from it. And the fact that he's just kind of swaying around like he's drunk, but we all know that obviously, because we've read it, we know he's dying. I thought it was really well done, how he's a bit like delirious, and then he just turns his head around, and that's what's going on at the back. Yeah, I enjoyed it, as sad as that sounds, because I love Baelor. I enjoyed seeing him die because I think it was depicted well, not because he died.
You enjoyed watching him die.
Can you repeat
that?
Please don't clip that.
I enjoyed watching him die.
For like the
who's the cruel one now? Who's the cruel one now, chat?
It made me emotional for all the right reasons.
Fair is fair, I guess. Ricky, did you enjoy watching Baelor die?
No, because I really enjoyed Bertie Carvel's portrayal in the show. So yeah, he's a good Targaryen.
Yeah,
he's a good Targaryen. He didn't deserve to go out like that.
Agreed.
Well,
agreed.
Agreed. I mean, Becky, I don't know if she would agree, but I mean, agreed. I guess I'll add my 2 cents. I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, it's sad he went, but it's a Game of Thrones show. Somebody's got to die. It's going to happen. So, Baelor went out in a cool way. Fighting his brother, and things happen. It's war, I guess. Yeah. Or trials. If that little shit Aryan would have just fought Dunk like a man, wouldn't have been in this mess. But yeah, JC, what'd you think of Baelor's death? Did you enjoy it?
I there's nothing more than I love than seeing people die. Oh, it's the best, and their brains, just gooshing out. No, I thought it was.
Got to his head.
I thought it was a very well adapted scene. They definitely elongate it more in the book. Obviously, we hear about it in the book as opposed to actually seeing it here in the TV show, where you actually, expand upon it for like a full minute of Baelor just kind of stumbling and being like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then he spins around for a bit. But I thought it was a very good choice. Obviously, it lets the horror kind of set in of like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then we finally get the big reveal of like, "Oh, shoot." The part of his brain. Yeah, awesome sauce. Honestly,
this was Becky.
The previous episodes, I was eating dinner at the wrong time. Just Dunk just taking a giant dump in the field, and Arlen just swinging his schlong in front of the screen. But so I was eating my dinner, I threw up. But this one scene with Baylor's brains showing up, eating dinner, I was like, oh man, that's just delicious.
What the fuck is going on?
Ricky, you missed a lot. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was a well adapted, well done scene, and yeah, the grittiness
Brain
definitely
didn't
sets
stop.
in, and Baylor's gone.
Fair point. I don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened in that conversation. What rabbit hole we
It's
went
like a
down.
house chant from the books. Brains. How they go, Stark. Right?
You guys, you're used to
Sorry,
it. You know
Prolific.
these streams are you don't know they go places, okay? So good transition there into the flashbacks. I know basically all of you wanted to talk about the flashbacks for this stream. So we'll start with Becky. Becky, what did you think of the flashback section? If you want to go a little bit more in depth than in the general section, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's just because obviously you guys have said they were misplaced. I don't really feel like they were misplaced because like they kind of like the flashbacks came as Dunk went down, so it's kind of like he had a little bit of a blackout and then the flashback played. So I thought that was appropriate. I do just feel like it was a bit too long. I feel like if we were going to get the flashback on like Dunk's backstory with his his first girlfriend, essentially Rafe, then I think it should have been in a previous episode. I feel like someone mentioned earlier, actually, they made a good comment saying that they wish the flashbacks were more about Sir Arlen and Dunk. And I agree. Like, I feel like it would have hit me a little bit more, or I would have been a bit more connected if it was more about Dunk's time with Sir Arlen rather than Dunk's time with Rafe. But obviously, my favourite part of the flashback was Sir Arlen coming in as the hero. Like, he's genuinely the perfect man because he was a hero whilst drunk, which, I mean, most people can't be a hero when sober, let alone in his state. He's got a huge lance and he's just a really great guy all round. So I just feel like that part of the flashback did great for Sarah Allen's character, I think. Because actually, I'm rambling now. But anyway, I think that is the episode that made me like Sir Allen's character more because I didn't really like what they'd done to him in this TV show compared to who he is in the novella. I didn't like that they made him real comedic and like more of a funny figure rather than like a wise mentor. But actually in this episode, I really liked him. I really liked his character way more than I have in the previous episodes, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm a bit mixed on the flashbacks.
Guys, I have a genuine question. So when Dunk is following around Arlen, does Arlen know he's following him around, or is it like I was a little like confused. Like, is just Arlen kind of just be like, "Oh, this kid's following me this whole time," or, I guess whatever. Or any answers on that, guys? On
it
if
must
he
have been
was
so obvious, surely. Like Dunk was literally just laid on the ground next to him. Like it must have been so obvious.
my thing is that makes me dislike Arlen more. I'm just like, this poor kid's following you. At least tell him go home or something. Like if you're not going to like,
But maybe he didn't want to be mean
esquire
to
him or
him.
anything.
He might not have
The
wanted to
same
take
Arlen
him in.
that cut a dude's head off.
I mean, that was a cool scene.
That was pretty cool. I won't lie. It was pretty cool. I want to go to you, Ricky, specifically, because you wanted to talk about Arlen for this stream. So I think this is a good transition to you on the flashbacks or Arlen. Anything you want to talk about?
I didn't have too much of a problem with the flashback on the rewatch. Initially, I was irritated on the placement, but I think it makes sense. If I were to, be, if I can say one thing, it's that I wish that the flashback would have done more than, he grew up in a very, because we've known that, and that's the way they portray him already. So, if I, I think they could have done more with it. Then he had a girlfriend, and then problems with the the city watch, and I don't like what they're doing with Arlen. The whole and craziness. I don't really, but that's their portrayal. So if you're not think by episode 2 we kind of knew what we were getting. So yeah, all in all, I'm fine with it. But I wish if especially given that they've chosen this placement, intercutting the trial, that it would have done a bit more, told us something that we didn't know, because we've known that he's been poor, and this was very easy. This was like the easiest kind of flashback that they could have done, I think. Show him in a situation where he loses someone that's close to him, so he leaves, and then he's following the goofy mentor. It's been done countless of times, but it's all right. I'm not trying to be too negative about it. It's fine. It's okay.
Fair is fair. I'll say this, Ricky. I don't know if the subtitles were right, but Arlen seeing Dothraki was kind of funny. Like, what,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right, if it's supposed to be Dothraki, but
How
if
did he
it is,
learn?
that's wild.
How did he learn Dothraki? I saw that. I was like, what?
He goes to a lot of
Very
taverns.
off
Who knows the
topic,
type
but
of
do you
people
guys
he's
know
meeting?
how George pronounces Dothraki?
No.
No.
He says
No?
Dothraki.
Oh.
Well,
Dothraki.
Well, George is wrong.
I'm never calling it that ever in my
Yeah.
life. So.
What? Wow.
He is a couple of those. Stannis is Stanis.
He's losing it. Okay, there's no way. There's no way. There's not with
It's
that
old
pronunciation.
though. It's from old interviews, so might have
As a
changed.
man who
Dothraki, yeah.
constantly pronounces things wrong, he's wrong. It's just Stannis, okay. But yeah, moving on to
George is
moving
wrong.
on to JC with that comment. What did you think of the flashbacks? Any thoughts you want to give on Arlen or anything you want to talk about with the flashbacks?
So I do agree with Becky originally. That's like, all right. I mean, the word usage where it's like, get up, sir, and it flashing back to, someone telling Dunk to get up. I thought that was clever, but I'm sorry, Becky. I still think it was misplaced.
That's okay. You're wrong, but it's okay. I'm joking.
I accept.
Becky's becoming the cruel one. Slowly
Yeah, I know.
throughout
What
the
the heck's going
series,
on with
slowly.
you, Becky? I definitely do feel like the content of the flashback was interesting. I do prefer if we had seen that in a different episode, because I do think that it stopped the momentum with regards to the events of the trial by 7. As far as the events of the flashback itself, I thought it was very interesting. Someone here in the chat mentioned something about how we did get little breadcrumbs here and there of the Blackfire stuff. I thought the little breadcrumbs we got was pretty cool. I also thought, we were getting a little bit of theming here, and also some heck yeah, show it off, Grease. Look at
Keep
that
going,
beauty.
JC. I'll just keep it up for you.
I do like something Rafe brought up when they were just kind of walking down that field, where Rafe says how, just because the war is technically over doesn't mean it's really over. How if someone hurts someone, that person is then going to come back and hurt that person in return. And I thought that was a very deep and yeah, I mean, it's an ominous foreshadowing about those people that were
Almost
hurt
like they tried a couple times.
coming back to hurt, the Targaryen loyalists. But we'll see. But it's also a very great theming about in the real world how wars are never truly over. You've got people that you've got a side that technically loses, but then the losing side doesn't stay. They're sore losers. They don't stay in their own lane forever. They're like, no, we're gonna come back and try to hurt you back so that we can be now the winners. And it's just this back and
Kind of
back
like
and forth,
Baelor
never ending war.
Greyjoy naming himself king 3 million times and losing every time.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Screw
So I
Balon.
thought-
What an
so I
idiot.
I thought that was a really good theme. Baelor Greyjoy is an idiot. Yes, I thought that was a great
Almost the
theme. And
biggest.
yeah, it's just the
You might
placement of
also
it.
say the biggest. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Enormous.
I just thought the placement was a little iffy, and also, like Future Boy says here, just a little too long for my liking. But that aside, I thought it was good, and it's good to see Arlen, being a drunken Obi-Wan Kenobi mentor for our Duncan the Tall.
Drunken Obi-Wan. So I've been holding on to this comment for like the last 5 minutes. So, okay. This is kind of how I feel that at least the first half of the flashback should have been. I feel like the flashbacks relate a lot more to episode 3's content. But then, like I agree with Becky, I think a lot more of the second half of that flashback works way better for this episode. So I think the way I would have done it is I would have separated them out so you don't have 15 minutes or however long it is of straight flashback, and just broke it up a little bit. Like you can still have that flashback that works, the parts of it that do work really well for this episode, while not making it feel like, in the big climactic episode, half of it is spent on a flashback where some of it's not even really relevant to the episode at hand. So I think that's what I mean by misplaced, in terms of, I think that especially the second half of it fits into what's happening on screen, but well, you see,
I'm constantly looking over his shoulder. Holy shit!
Hey,
He's
I'll say
moving
this:
around.
she has her claws, so if I really move back here, she can just dig right in. So she's got it figured out.
Real quick, Adam Asia, that it is it like, no, it's not like that in the, well, Egg cheers him on, but it's not like that's all he's doing for the whole trial by 7.
Yeah.
In the books, he fights Arion himself.
And he beats his ass.
Tiny lance in the spot.
Agreed. But yeah, yeah, she's a pretty good cat. She's pretty good. She's not a very cuddly cat, but she does her own thing. But yeah, the cat is named Grease. Could you imagine if I named my cat Grease?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Like here's my cat.
Leave the stream. I would leave the stream.
You could leave my stream. You could go to Ricky's stream, or you can go to JC's stream or Becky's stream and watch it. If you're a real fan, you have all 4 of our streams open at the same time. But yeah, just getting back to the Arlen point. So the flashback I thought was good. I actually liked the content of the flashback. I just think that it could have been executed a little bit better. But the Arlen side of things, I kind of feel like the same. Like I did like him, stepping in for Dunk and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was cool. We saw something of Arlen being a decent fellow. I just don't know how I feel about every scene of him. He's drunk and he's singing in Dothraki, and apparently he's got a kid following him around, and he's just kind of like, this is a normal Tuesday, He doesn't say anything to him. The kid's like shivering to death, and it just here's Arlen. He's just singing his Dothraki. He's living life, I guess. I don't know.
But did he know that Dunk was shivering to death? Surely, like he was just drunk the whole time. Would he know that Dunk was just like dying out in the cold?
I don't know. That brings up a great question. I don't know. But either way,
I think you're all painting Sir Arlen out to be a bad guy. I just think he's a drunk
I don't think he's a bad
life.
man. I don't think he's a bad man.
You just said he's left a young child out to freeze in the cold.
He has done that though. Like,
but if he didn't know, if it wasn't intentional, then is it really something to blame?
There's only 2 trains of thought here. One train of thought is Arlen has terrible awareness and he's just getting drunk every night and he's an alcoholic. That probably Or the other one is he blatantly knows that Dunk is following him around, is just sleeping in the forest when he could be inviting Dunk to his fire at the very bare minimum.
But at some point he must eventually, unless Dunk also lied about being a squire. So did he lie about being a knight and a squire? Maybe he was never a squire. Yeah, and he just followed Sir Arlen around for his entire life.
This is what I kind of would have liked from the flashbacks more, is actually seeing Dunk with Arlen. Because we just don't see it much. And the times we have seen it have just been kind of funnies, him getting hit, or if, they're riding on a horse and all that. So a very high, especially in swordplay, he still got it. I'll give him that. We see where Dunk gets it.
Agreed.
Actually, Dunk was getting nailed in the so never mind. I shouldn't say that. Go ahead, JC.
Grease, you brought up a good point about splitting up the flashback. I think actually I didn't think about that before. I think that would have been actually for the better if you split the flashback where the stuff with Dunk and Rafe was maybe shown in a previous episode, the flashback, and then the flashback section where we see Dunk kind of following Arlen around and Arlen's just, drunkenly singing Dothraki. I thought maybe if you were going to include a flashback in this episode, maybe just having that 4-minute section here in this episode would have worked. Otherwise, you can, if you want to include the whole thing, make it a previous episode.
The problem then becomes though, because they are still trying to and this is the thing I'm trying to think about when I suggest these changes or whatever, is they still have to fill it out somehow. So like, what would you put in there? Do you put in added a flashback with Arlen and Dunk? Do you just give more time to like maybe we see more of the other people fighting in the trial, but not as much just focused on Dunk? That's the question you have to ask. I don't know.
Well, that's their fault. That's Warner Brothers and HBO's fault. They didn't have to make 6 30-minute episodes, but they got greedy.
Good point. I mean, I don't know if I'd say greed, JC. I think agreed's a strong word.
Oh, they want to keep you on that HBO Max subscription for
of course. But
so much so that they've rescheduled the whole thing until it is it in Britain as well, because it just launched with Dunkin' Egg in Germany.
Okay.
So they are being greedy with the show, and that's why they moved the entire thing.
Let me clarify what I mean by that. Okay, I never thought I'd have to defend HBO for once. But I'll say this. Sure. In terms of the other shows, people expect from Game of Thrones, it's going to be a show. So making it a movie, for instance, like what I think, at least I know me and JC, I think me and you have talked about this as well, Ricky, is that it should have just been a movie. It would have probably flowed a lot better. But the problem is that you're taking a risk. You don't necessarily know if people are going to go see a Game of Thrones movie compared to a show, what they're familiar with. So that would be the counter of it. But I do also agree it is because of money as well. So money is what motivates everything.
Trev, yes, I mean, the get up does connect the flashback to the current scene, but they could have easily just removed the get up and, then they didn't need to include that flashback here. I'm not against the flashback. The placement of it, I just personally did not. I would have preferred it elsewhere, but that's totally fair, Trev.
Like, I don't even mind. Like, that's my thing. I don't even mind that part of the flashback. I just think that it should have been broken up. Like, I think that part, I agree completely with Becky that it made sense for the episode. But yeah. What did you say, Ricky?
Sorry, I'm just looking at. I put up a tweet and I'm getting cooked.
Ricky's getting cooked. Press F in the chat for Ricky.
Yes. It's that SpongeBob picture of Baelor, and people are not happy.
I will say this. Shout out to you, Paul. I've been looking at your comment for the last 15 minutes of the stream. I haven't seen any other chats but that. But shout out to you. You're a goated member. Moving on. I know, Becky, you wanted to talk about this. What did you guys think of the cinematography? We've touched on it a little bit, but I'll let Becky go first since you wanted to talk about this specifically.
Yes. And this is the reason why I loved the trial scenes so much, because I just feel like it was so interesting that we basically saw the whole thing through Dunk's eyes and his perspective, or eye at the end, because the other one was like not looking great. But that camera angle through the visor, but there was also like a shot before that, how it like transitioned in to the visor shot, and it was so like fluid and so like it was just so impressive. I thought I really liked all the different camera angles that they showed, like the muffled sound effects as the like we're hearing from what Dunk can hear. I just thought it was great, and I liked that it was kind of murkier, well, very much so murkier than in the previous episodes, because I feel like throughout the course of the series the tones lowered bit by bit, episode by episode, so it's not as like bright and vibrant anymore. And because this was such a serious part of the show, they made it a lot grayer and darker to show the stakes.
I'll add to this, Becky, because I just saw this comment. I think that was the point. I think they were going for that. They wanted this to feel like a darker episode, a lot more dirty, should I say.
Yeah.
So agreed. But Ricky, JC, anything you want to add to the cinematography, some of the shot selection, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I think, because of budget reasons, they had to be really creative in the way that they were going to adapt it. And I like how they are using color. I like how they're using, I think the editing on this show is incredible. Becky just mentioned the fluidity, and it's incredible how it flows. So yeah, I think the cinematography in this show is out of this world.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the on the screen.
Ricky, I want you to respond to this comment, given
As
because
Ri-
you
as
work
Ricky
in
said,
this
it's
A
field.
out.
veteran of
Well.
many movie and TV battle scenes, the cinematography of this show was done by a 2-year-old. I heavily disagree. I think, if anything, this shits on most of the battle scenes that we have nowadays with very fast cutting. We stay with the characters. We have a few really long takes in there, and it shows the muddiness, the brutality in a way that you can't really you don't really get, especially if you compare this to the Stepstones thing, to compare it to another adaptation.
Oh
To the
God, here we go.
Stepstones battle
Here we
episode
go.
of season 1 of House of the Dragon, with all of these very fast cuts, and the Valarians spawn in, and it's just chaos, 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 chaos. Very fast. You see Corlys with his axe, and you compare this to the take where Dunk is, I think he would get hit by the mace, and then it gets up, and it's just the way I prefer it, where you can actually see, where you can actually feel the chaos of it all.
There's so many things I
All
want
right.
to say, but I can't say. For you guys that have watched Game of Thrones, you know exactly what I'm thinking of. But I just, some of these comments, we're not seeing the same thing. Like, our brains are not wide. I respect your opinion, but respectfully, it's wrong.
These are also mixed. Like, even a lot of the people commenting, like I saw one saying it was like the best cinematography, and then the one below it was someone saying it was the worst. They're so mixed.
For all of my criticisms, you guys know how critical I am, okay? That was not a problem in this episode. This episode was incredibly awesome to look at. So like that was not the problem. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. JC, anything you want to add to cinematography, anything, that kind of stuff? Since it's very divisive in our chat right now.
Yeah, apparently. So I thought it was
This
good.
sums
I
it
mean,
pretty good, I think. Oh, sorry.
yeah, there's a right wrong, but sometimes
I
you can-
just interrupted you. Sorry.
Don't-
I was like, so yeah, JC, go
lost a
on.
thought.
Oh, this is pretty interesting. I'm sorry. It's 5 a.m.
Oh,
Just-
get some sleep, man. After this,
Sleep right now.
right now in the middle of the
We'll have a
stream.
sleep cam in the middle or over there.
No, so someone was mentioning earlier how the episode was a little too gray and too drab. I actually don't mind that because there's variety. In previous episodes, we had, these colorful greens, these colorful yellows. As Becky has mentioned, we've kind of started, with a little bit more of a comedic tone. And then with each passing episode, we've gotten a little bit more serious. So the colors have gotten more muted. But I actually don't mind that because it gives the show some variety as opposed to House of the Dragon, where every episode pretty much is exclusively like gray and brown and, looking like an old Xbox Gears of War game, and it's just like, all right, well, this is very, very kind of dull and drab looking every episode. Whereas here we have variety. Yes, maybe this episode was a little more brown than what we're used to, but we've also had some color, so that's totally okay. So,
Sound
yeah,
like
I
House
liked
the
it.
Dragon when we have an episode 7, I think, where it's just all gray and all blue, dark blue, and it has that filter on it.
Super
Well,
chat.
that's true, Zeno. That's true. Thank you, Zeno. We appreciate the super chat. Sometimes it's got to be said. It's got to be said. They call me cruel, but sometimes it's just wisdom.
What I would love to see in this universe at some point is historical HEMA fighting, like actual proper longsword fighting. That's something that I, despite of me, preaching or being very fond of the unrealistic aspect of this Trial of Seven, I would love to see a very historically accurate fight in an adaptation at some point. Like one of those very famous fights. Maybe it's the Lionel versus Dunk one in the future. I would love to see a very historical sword fight, because you can make it look cool. You can make it look cool. It doesn't have to be slow and or very quick. So yeah, just a very, I don't know. Just had that on my mind.
This is a good question. So when we see the flashback, that's supposed to be the red grass field, I'm assuming, correct? For the battle?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure because you don't. I was like looking. I didn't see like any Blackfire sigils, but I could have overlooked it. I wasn't looking at the best angle.
Took me
But
3 times, I think, but I guess it's in the when they're at the wear shop, and they're trying to sell their shit, and he talks about the Blackfire thing he can keep. That's
Yeah,
supposed to, I
yeah.
think.
Yep. That's what I thought. This is interesting. Okay, because we're gonna do the dad review at this point because this was brought up.
We need the dad review for
Ooh.
episode 4 as well.
Ooh.
We didn't get the dad review for episode
Mm.
4.
So dad really liked episode 4. I think it was his highest rated as consensus. I feel like he was not as happy about this episode. As soon as the trial got going and he cut to a flashback, I heard him literally go, "What?" I was like, "Don't look at me. This ain't in the book. This ain't me." So he wanted to see a little bit more of some of the other champions in the trial, and it's just like, sometimes you don't get what you want. So he was not exactly pleased. He gave it a 7 out of 10, which is not great considering that's what he gave episode 1. But
Oh wow.
I don't know. I think he just had a little bit of a crash out. He wanted to see Lionel Baratheon. I know that for a fact, and he did not get any Lionel Baratheon in this episode. Well, I think so. That's the vibe I got was like he just got so taken out of the episode by the 15 minutes of the flashback that by the time we got back to the trial, he was just kind of like, "Huh,
That's fair.
what happened here?" So I don't know. There was more to it than that. But that was the summed up version. But yeah, I don't know. I get it. I mean, I'm seeing some people, or I saw somebody that said like the last 2 episodes were a 9.5. This one was like a 6 out of 10. I don't know if I go that far. I think that's pretty far, but I don't know. Moving on. So Ricky brought this up at the kind of beginning of the stream. There was some news that we got some leaks throughout the week.
Oh wait, do we want to give
Ooh.
before we delve into Summerhall, should we give our final rating for this episode and kind of our final thoughts, or just do Summerhall or delve in straight?
It's up to
into
you
Summerhall?
guys, because we usually say that for the end. But if you guys want to say like this is the end of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms episode 5 section, and then we move on, that's cool as well. So
Yeah,
if you want to give ratings, go ahead, JC. Since you brought it up, you started off.
it's just a suggestion because I know not everyone in chat has read the books, and maybe some of them don't want to be spoiled on potential future events. So maybe
Good point.
we just cover Night of the Seven Kingdoms here, wrap up our thoughts, and then we delve into the super spoilers of what potentially may happen in the end.
That's fair.
But-
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, no, I like this episode. I did not like it as strongly as episode 4. I think episode 4 is still my MVP. Episode 5, again, I do think the flashback stopped the momentum. I liked what we were going for, but so we can go to sleep. All right, Adam, we'll do just that, good sir. So I like the trial by 7. I like the conscious flashback. I think it was just a wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. So all in all, I'm going to give this episode 8.5 out of 10.
I was not expecting you to go that low, but fair enough. I respect it. Becky, what did you give the episode?
Oh, I don't know because I really, really loved the trial stuff. Like, really loved it. I think it is just like, and again, it's not even the flashback content that's the problem. I think it was just too long in this episode. And you made a good point earlier, Grease, about if you separated it. So if you put like the backstory stuff with Rafe in a different episode, maybe near the Tanzel stuff, and then the Sarah Allen stuff, in this episode, I think it would have worked a lot better. So I don't know. I can't decide whether an 8.5 or a 9, so I think I'm going to go 8.75 for this episode.
Ooh, a quarter rating.
Yeah, but I can't decide.
This is blowing my mind. Okay, Ricky, go ahead.
I really liked this episode, and I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
What has happened? Why am I the highest ratings on stuff? This has happened 2 weeks in a row. I'm usually the lowest.
Grease the complimentary.
I'd give it I'm giving it like a 9 out of 10. I think it's around kind of how I felt about episode 3. There were things I really liked about it, things that I had questions about. It's around where I am. I'll have to sleep on it. I usually have my more condensed thoughts, usually in the Monday stream. But I think right now, 9 out of 10. I think the flashback stuff, like we talked about throughout the whole stream, kind of is what brings it down a little bit. And some little minor things that aren't all that important during the trial. So I liked it. But yeah, I think a good episode. So at this point now, we are now moving to very spoilery,
Oh, super
very
chat.
all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
super-
And
thank
read the super chat.
you. Thank you so much. Thought the episode was good, but the timing could be better. Definitely agree with that. The ending was devastating in a Game of Thrones way. Wish we'd got to see more of the other fights. Favorite part?
We didn't do that section of the stream, so that is a good
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I don't even know. Is
Well, you
it cheating to say the whole trial stuff?
You said
every
you
scene?
liked. You said you liked when Baelor died. Like you loved when Baelor.
That's a good
died.
one.
Okay, right. But I need to clarify. Maybe that was my favorite scene, but because of how it was done, not because of what happened. Okay, we've got
Yeah.
to clarify. I did not want Baelor to die because I love Baelor, but I think it was the way it was done. Maybe that was my favorite scene. Or the bit where Egg's shouting, "Get up!" because he's just so adorable and his acting was great, I thought. And it was quite wholesome that combined with Sir Alan Flashback saying "Get up" is the reason why Dunk kind of found the strength to get up. So I think that's probably my favorite bit, I think.
Fair. Ricky, JC, you want to give your favorite parts before we move on?
You go first, JC.
I was hoping you would go first, Ricky.
Reverse card.
Yeah,
I'll go first. All right.
Awesome.
Ricky. The best part of the episode was when Dunk almost cut off Arian's dick. All right, continue.
Perfect.
Sorry for these.
I really like that bit where Baelor is unhorsing Maker. It's really chaotic. It's from the ground. It's cool.
Oh yeah.
Unrealistic, but cool.
I have
Actually.
Go for it, Ricky. Go for it.
No, I was just joking because I said that unhorsing Maker is unrealistic. It's like the guy was saying, actually they didn't really, in the medieval times. Oh, come on.
Keep going,
Can't do
Ricky.
me like that. Hi guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. My favorite part, Corey, that's a little tough. But I liked more than.
Is that a
just the first
Steelers
minute.
jersey, Corey? If so, that's just not good. All right, you can continue.
No, so there's two scenes I liked. As far as I liked when Dunk was beating the shit out of Aryan Brightflame. I liked that part. I was like, heck yeah, hell yeah. Here we go. Like, Sir Duncan, that's all. You show Aryan Brightflame who's the boss, and then Aryan Brightflame yielded. I like that part. But in a more thematic sense, I really liked just the wiseness of Rafe when, again, she told Dunk that wars are never truly over. You hurt someone, but they're just going to come back 1 year later and hurt you. I thought that was very, very deep, especially coming from a child. So, yeah, those are my favorite scenes.
I don't know why that made me think of also thinking of Dunk when he's like, "What if everywhere sucks?" And I'm just like,
Oh yeah, he did say
that's
that.
a wise words.
That's a deep take. That is deep. Yeah,
that's
for sure.
deep. He might need help after that one. Like he needs to start. He might need to get checked into therapy when he's thinking about that as a kid.
I mean, everywhere does suck. So yeah.
Yeah, it's true though. It's a very realistic take.
Yeah. Although Japan's
Dunk
pretty
the
cool.
wise. Never been.
It's cool.
It would be cool to go to though. But first, I want to go to London. So
why am I a geek? Why? I live here. It's not like I live in Seattle.
I don't know. I don't know if he's referring to that or me. Like when the chat came up and I was like, is saying if that's a Steelers shirt on. Maybe they thought that I was pointing to you, JC. That I thought you.
Okay. Yeah, no, we were
maybe I don't know.
Corey, and I don't think Corey's wearing a Steelers shirt. I think he's got like a little like justice balance thing, the little balance things on his shirt. Sorry, we're just
okay.
We've devolved
job,
a portion
Corey.
of the stream where we
Steelers shirt. That's good.
Where we just criticize everyone's fashion sense here in the chat.
It's better than Becky's Dolphins, though.
Oh, what did I do to deserve that?
I don't know. You were a little cruel this episode. I feel like.
Actually, before we leave,
great.
Nice. Sorry for interrupting. Before we leave this part of the United Seven Kingdoms, Ricky, I want to ask you if you're allowed to say this. do we have more Arlen flashbacks in episode 6, and are they good?
I would have to look at my notes because they're all basically just one annoying scene to me because I'm not a fan. But I think, yeah, I think we will get. Oh yeah, he's definitely in episode 6. He's definitely in episode 6. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Are they good? I don't like Arlen, so not really to me. It's like, yeah, I It's like, what the fuck? Sorry, but
Well, that's what I love. I love those scenes.
it's really just comes down to preference.
Can we get him
I'm
singing
too
in
harsh,
Valyrian
and I know I'm
next
too
episode?
harsh, but I had this built up headcanon of this guy as like not like the it can be a contrary thing where he's like he's not very knightly and stuff, but I don't like this portrayal. So you might love it though, then because it rounds up, and I think we won't see him in the future adaptation because of the way they kind of wrap it up.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well,
Okay,
I'm not
all right.
Becky. I haven't loved them. Becky's loved most of them, but
I know why
Sure.
Becky likes Arlen.
It's just, oh yeah, there was one very big reason why I like Alan. but no, I think it's because he's just a meme at this point. Like because when I read the novella, oh, I've got the spotlight. When I read the novella, he was like a wise old mentor, so I would have preferred that. But at this point, he's just a jerk, so I can't help but laugh at every scene he's in. When he's just like drunk, swaying on a horse, singing, like how can I not laugh? It's just, yeah, that's why I like him. It's not, I don't love the portrayal. It's fun times. Don't think about it too deep,
You know what? Fair. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I'm more on Ricky's take. I'm not a huge fan whenever Arlen's on screen, but we'll see. We still got time. We got an episode left.
Yeah.
Could redeem himself.
And we've got.
I mean, he. You know what?
Monologue.
He does
the
before
broken
JC,
man
here you go.
speech. He does the cut broken man speech while dancing around the fire and being naked.
You know what? My theory now is Arlen somehow he becomes Moon Boy. That's my theory from now on.
Carl, I would have preferred that. Like we had an opportunity to have more Arlen flashbacks, and I think if they had been more meaningful. Well, I mean, there was some meaning here and there, but if we had, instead of just Arlen being played for comedy, if we had seen some more interactions between Arlen and Dunk, maybe Arlen training Dunk, I think that would have been more beneficial. One thing I will, I hope they answer this in episode 6, and I know Ricky, you're not allowed to talk about this, but in episode 2, whenever we have that flashback to Arlen and his giant schlong, you see a cut on Arlen's wrist. And I've been wondering about that. I'm like, how did he get that cut? I'm curious if that was just for flavor for the scene or if they're going to explain how he got that cut in episode 6, maybe training Dunk, but I don't know.
I don't think I think it's just a cut.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll get back to that for episode 6.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Anything you guys want to talk about with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms until we go to the next section, the things that came out, news of the week, I guess we'll say.
Spoilers.
All right. I think we're good. Since Ricky, you brought it up, if you wanted to introduce it to the people that don't know what came out leaks wise, or not leaks, I should say, but what did actors specifically say that got the Song of Fair community all up in basically up in fire?
So, spoilers ahead. If you don't want to know anything about a future of Night of the Seven Kingdoms or potentially the novellas that will never be released, the actor who plays Egg, Dexter Sol Enzo, has made a big no-no. He basically spoiled that Duncan the Tall is gonna survive Summerhall somehow, and that's something that George told them, which was a huge thing. And I mean, where do you start? I always liked the ending of them both dying together, and I had this picture in my once again headcanon, where Dunk is saving a bunch of people, going back in there until he dies, and it's like this big heroic ending to his arc. But I don't know. I don't really know what I think about the latest leaks in general. Like George talking about how he wanted to kill Sansa is just so stupid to me. Because I don't see why. But then again, I don't know. I'll let you go first.
Who wants to go first? I have strong thoughts on this, so I'm gonna go last.
Oh, the suspense.
Is it
I mean,
alright if
how is he even surviving that? I'm gonna show you something. This is how I
Yeah.
see Duncan the Tall surviving Summerhall. This is how he walks out there. Just him walking out of this is how he
Beautiful.
goes back to, like,
Ricky, did you post that on Twitter
I
or
did, I
X?
did.
Yeah,
Nice,
I remember
nice.
seeing that.
So for context, if anyone in the chat for some reason decided to stick around and doesn't care about spoilers, so the alleged end for both Dunk and Egg has long been speculated to be Summerhall, this place 50 years in the future from this point of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, where Egg allegedly wants to resurrect wants to resurrect a dragon from these dragon eggs that have forever been useless. And the theory is that Egg, for the most part, he was a good king, but he slowly, little by little, maybe the people have kind of started turning against Aegon the Unlikely, and Aegon the fifth, I should say, who is Egg. And so Egg, kind of in a desperate turn of events, is like, oh, I got to resurrect these dragons in order to get the respect of the people once again. And the theory has been Dunk will tell him like, no, that's a terrible idea. Don't do it. And Egg is like, no, I got to do it. And so in their attempts at resurrecting a dragon, it fails spectacularly in the spectacular explosion that kills both Dunk and Egg within Summerhall. So for the longest time, everyone in the fandom assumed that both Dunk and Egg died, which I think is inappropriate. It's sad, but it's a tragically appropriate ending for both of these men. However, it has now come to light that Duncan the Tall actually survives Summerhall, and Egg is the only one who dies. Which, if that's the case, then I think it removes a little bit of the tragedy. And I don't even know what Dunk would do after this. There's nothing in the lore, there's nothing in the history books, there's nothing within the source material that indicates that there is a living 7-foot person that survives past Summerhall. So everyone is up in arms. Everyone's trying to figure out how they can kind of twist this new information into the existing lore and, how this makes sense for the story. Sorry for my long kind of ramble here.
No, that was great.
That theory. Becky, go ahead. What do you think about Summerhall and all that?
Yeah, so I agree with what Ricky said earlier when he said it would have been appropriate for them both to die together. And I kind of always assumed that they would, that both Dunk and Egg, the end of their story as well. It makes sense and kind of like a wholesome, oddly wholesome way for them to die together. Obviously, the circumstances are horrible, but it would have been kind of like fitting for those two characters. So I'm not sure how I feel about him surviving or about anyone surviving. Someone made a point earlier where they said it's much more tragic for Dunk to live, which for Dunk, yeah, definitely, like the amount of trauma that he'd have from that. But I'm just wondering where his story goes after that point, if he survives. Like, firstly, how does he survive? What are the practicalities of that? Because, he's a big guy, and obviously it's an explosion. I don't know how easy that is to get out of, but probably not very easy at all. But also, then where does his story go? Like, it would be better for him to die with Egg, surely. That sounds mean again, but like, what's the point in him surviving, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think I'm going to go a step further. I'm not George, so I don't know what his plan is necessarily, or like how we even exactly get there. Again, we're all speculating on Summerhall, the way we think it happens, the theories. But it's such a perfect ending for Dunk and Egg that they both go down in this tragic event that is going to basically lead to the Targaryens falling out of power. And it's done a lot of because of speculation of Egg being desperate and not having full control over his reign because of a lot of things in and out of his control. And so he's trying to bring back the dragons, and things go horribly wrong, whether that's because of what Egg's doing, whether that's because people are trying to stop the dragons from coming back. I know somebody put in the comments, maybe it's the maesters, the nobility also didn't like Egg, all that kind of stuff. But then the idea of like Dunk survives. This is not Arthur Dayne. Like Arthur Dayne, okay, yeah, he can maybe change his appearance, he could look different. Dunk is a giant of a man. There's no hiding. Like, some people have said, oh, he's going to become Cold Hands or he goes to the Night's Watch. What? You're telling me that Maester Aemon is at the Night's Watch, either knows Dunk and covers it up, like he just doesn't say who this is and just whatever. But nobody's like, oh, there's a 7-foot dude here. I wonder who this could be. There's only like 5 of them, like in the whole country. Like, I don't. And then the idea that he becomes Cold Hands when textually there is no evidence to suggest this at all, based off of Bran and his interaction with Cold Hands. There's no indication that this is Dunk. The height's not there. None of that. There's just a lot of speculation off of
time.
Nothing. Yeah, it feels like how Ned Nashar that theory is. It's like there's not exactly much here outside of just speculation. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. I talked about this with JC a lot, but I just think it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If it is the case, it might not be. Maybe Dexter's trolling. Maybe it's.
I mean, if
I don't know.
anything, it makes it. It takes away from the tragedy, I think.
Agreed.
Because he gets to live, and what's the point in him having a tragic? What's what story is there left to tell apart from, well, and then he found peace after what, potentially killing the king? It's like a copycat of Jaime Lannister. We already have that, and I don't know. We're talking out of our asses because we don't know. It's just a random ass info that never meant to be leaked.
Yeah. I mean, another thing, just going on the Cold Hands thing, because some people think, oh, well, he's linked to Bloodraven, all that kind of stuff. But the other part of that is, I mean, Bloodraven's not the best dude. He literally gets sent to the wall by Egg. Like, I just don't know how Dunk being. I don't see how all that fits together. But
yeah,
that's my general thoughts on that. Feel free, guys, to add on or whatever you want to say about it.
George could also easily change his mind. He doesn't have to stick to this. I mean, at one point, he was allegedly also going to kill Sansa, which was strange. And then he changed his mind. So, George changes his mind all the time. He just because he tells Dexter one thing doesn't mean that, like, oh, that's exactly how it's going to go. He could change his mind down the line. So, we'll see. Hopefully.
That opens up a bigger door, though, of why was Dexter told to begin with, in terms of like,
yeah,
why? I don't know.
I wonder.
I get it, but
it's been mentioned that other actors have also been told the ending destinations for those characters, because like Conleth Hill, who plays Varys in Game of Thrones, he was allegedly told the ending for his character by George R.R. Martin. And then I'm assuming D&D didn't follow that because he was pretty pissed off by the ending that he was given. So I'm curious if other actors have also been given information from George of what George intends to do with their characters. Like, I don't want to get into House of the Dragon spoilers or Fire and Blood spoilers, but Daemon Targaryen, his, alleged fate, I wonder if Matt Smith was told where his character was going to end up in the beginning. I wonder, what if all these characters who we don't really know where their endings are kind of dubious, if they were told how their endings will be by George.
I mean, just to like add on to that, I mean, the idea though, like, I get that. I think, for instance, the actor who plays Dunk, he should know what this character is gonna do in the future. But it's different when you're telling a child actor this kind of information. That's the difference. Yeah. Like, you can tell an adult, oh yeah, and then if they're an adult, they should know, oh yeah, don't go to the media and go, oh, this is my character's ending. It's different when you're telling a child who's not used to media PR and what you should and shouldn't say. So I think that would be the thing I'm a little confused on, but I don't know. That's all I can say.
Peter Claffey also,
be trolling us.
Well, the way Peter Claffey reacted, I was like, oh, this is because he like reacted in a way that was like, oh, but he was trying to
Yeah.
play it off like, oh, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh no, Dexter did spoil something there he wasn't supposed to, and poor kid. I mean, you're right, Grease. I mean, why would you tell a kid this piece of pivotal information? This is like, all right, kid, I'm gonna tell you this super specific thing, but don't tell anyone, okay? And the kid's like, okay, George. Hey, mom and dad, what's up? Look what I heard.
Actually, guys, I have a question. So was it a pre-recorded video that this came out on, or was this like a live stream? Do we know?
Oh, that's a good point.
It was pre-recorded.
So this is what if the
They could have edited it out.
This was
It-
preventable, but I think the TV station didn't realize that this was a huge thing. Just said, yeah, well, now it's out there.
I mean, did they not rewatch it? I mean, you could tell Peter literally is just like,
I mean, Simon from a random ass TV station doesn't know fuck all about Summerhall. So, it's like, yeah, well, it's gotta be out there by 10 a.m. It's like,
What if like Dexter was given like a copy of A Dream of Spring? He's like, oh hey, by the way, guys, you wanna know if that's my
it might be the best thing in the world if he gets the copy of Winds of Winter.
I hope.
George,
I
start
really
just
hope
leaking it. Okay, I did see this comment earlier, and I thought it was a fun comment because I know Becky's gotten this before on her live stream. But if we were, say we had a crime, a similar situation to Dunk, what would our 7 like defenders? Who would you want them to ideally be?
Oh,
from all
Barristan Selmy.
I guess all. I didn't preference.
Oh, I was just my mind went immediately to Barristan.
I'll tell you. Wait, okay. So we got to preference this. Do these people need to be honorable, or are they just fighting for us? Just like, because that's a big question to me. Because if we're not caring about their ethics and they just got to win the battle, Maegor is like number 1. Just Maegor's coming in, gigantic of a man with the Valyrian steel swords. Maegor's coming in.
Why would Maegor
Harrison's
listen?
coming in.
Why would Maegor listen to you though? He'd be like,
Because he knows I'm a Targaryen supremacist or something. Yeah, that's the lie I'll feed him. I'll be like, you guys are so much better. And Visenya told me to back me. Your mom said so you have to. That's what I would say. But see, we're not doing these hypotheticals of why are they backing me? Because you could say the same of like, why is Barristan backing you? What'd you do that was so heroic that? So you just got to pick anybody. So yeah, I'll run through mine. So Maegor, Barry, Arthur Dane, Maekar, Daemon Blackfire. They don't need to be synergized. They can be on opposite sides. Prime Jaime Lannister, and she's another good one. We'll just throw in Oberyn. Okay, that's my 7.
Oberyn's good.
Oh yeah. I'll do the Mountain, Bronn, Brienne of Tarth. Shoot. Yeah, Arthur Dane. Got Jaime Lannister in there, Prime Jaime Lannister. Ned Stark, get him in there too, and Robert Baratheon. Heck yeah.
My team's kicking your team's ass.
Robert Baratheon's strong.
You got Brienne and Ned in there. They're getting absolutely wrecked. Daemon Blackfire is going to take pity on him before he kills him. You are throwing Brienne, a poor young woman, into the depths, though.
She's
Hey,
stronger
she's
than
not
Jaime.
a poor young woman. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
strong.
feisty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying like she's weak or anything, but I'm just saying like this is a life or death situation, and she's got a lot of life to live, and you're just throwing her into the deep end against
live.
maybe life or death.
She survived Lady Stoneheart. She'll live.
Oh, this is
She
a good
did.
comment. 1-1. Can we just have 1-1?
I think all is fair. If you can come up with it, I think it should be allowed.
You could pick 7 others. They'll never
You could pick
die.
Aegon the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Nobody said Aegon the Conqueror or Visenya or like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a team of 1-1 Barry and the others to make up the rest.
Perfect.
Fair. Ricky, give us your dream team. Bitter Steel would have been a good one. Thought about that one too late.
Barristan Selmy, Arthur Dane, Prime Jaime Lannister, Daemon, Targaryen.
Any preference? Okay. It's a good one.
Yeah, Daemon Targaryen. Who else should I pick? I would probably go. What's a cool character that?
Mance. He's a pretty good fighter.
Yeah,
Pick Arian. Come on, Ricky. He's such a great fighter. Didn't you see what he was doing to dunk today? It's just
No, so who they have? Burst Sammy, Arthur Dane, Jamie.
Aemon the
Lannister.
Dragon Knight. I forgot. That's another good one.
I'll go Aemon the Dragon Knight, Daemon
Hell yeah.
Targaryen. Let me go the Mountain and Oberyn Martell.
Oh yeah, it's a good group.
Wonderful.
You're gonna have synergy issues just like my team with Oberyn and the Mountain being on the same team. But
You
I
gotta
just went Maegor. You always go Maegor.
dude, he's like a giant of a man. He's got a Valyrian steel sword. What do you want from me?
If they
He's a
ever
badass.
do Sons of the Dragon series, you're gonna be in trouble.
Dude, if they screw up if they do a Maegor show and they screw him up, there will be crash
Yeah,
outs.
like Brian
These streams
Condon
like
do
you'll
the
never
Sons
have
of the
seen.
Dragon show.
House of the Dragon season 2's finale will be like that's a little taste. That's not even
Maegor's
I'm
killing
shocked.
of Maester was a misunderstanding, bro.
Dude, okay. He does some bad things. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He does some bad things. There's a little bit of nuance in there, okay? Okay, you got to understand it from the Targaryen dynasty point of view. Okay. He's not good for the small folk. You know, if I was a person and Maegor was the king, I'd hate Maegor. But, you know, welcome to my TED Talks. If you want to see my full thoughts on
Wait, I go.
Maegor.
Agreed.
Well, Zeno super chatted. Thank you for that. What was everyone's thought on Maekar saying "my boy" in the episode?
Maekar loves his boy. I don't know.
It was nice to see
Well, this
Maekar
gets
be
picked up
affectionate.
in episode 6. He's very aware.
I don't want to hear nothing.
All right.
You
I
keep your
do.
spoilers to yourself. I'm just saying, Daemon Blackfire also not being in anybody else's besides mine. Man,
Oh, by the
some
way, I'm so glad that
Blackfire propaganda.
the actor who plays Dunk debunked the Henry Cavill rumors, because there was a rumor. I don't know if you're aware, but there's been this other interview where the actor who plays Egg kind of leaked something about Henry Cavill, and then everyone would like, oh, well, is Henry Cavill in like, is he Daemon Blackfire? And then Dunk, the actor who plays Dunk, debunked it today. And I'm glad that's the case, because, man, who's going to do the acting?
Ricky, you're confused because Henry Cavill was already going to be Aegon the Conqueror, silly.
Oh, yeah. I hate those fucking fans.
All right. So, anything else you guys want to talk about? Any Song of Ice Fire news or the episode before we end the stream? So, Ricky and Becky can go to sleep or get some rest or start their day. One of the two.
Like,
I'm gonna
comment, and
sleep.
subscribe.
Oh yeah,
That's a
subscribe
good
to
plug.
us. Yeah,
Like, comment, and subscribe to all of us. All 4 of us. No cheating.
you better.
Yeah. You better,
Unless
or else
you don't support the Blackfires. If you don't support the Blackfires, you cannot subscribe to my channel. That's totally fair. We don't want any non-believers.
You better like, comment, subscribe, or else I don't know. We'll attack you with a mace. It doesn't matter if you say yield. It's coming for
We're
you.
personally attacking them now.
We're threatening again. Threaten
it.
people into subscribing. That ought to do it.
Ricky, any threatening you want to do to your audience since you've been gone for 2 episodes?
Yeah.
That's the I'm gonna hurt you if you don't subscribe.
Perfect. Beautiful.
All right, I think that's a good spot to end the stream. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll be back for episode 6 and the finale. I got the spotlight because, of course. And we're gonna end the stream there. So Bye, guys. Thank you for all joining and all.
You're
that
making
kind of
me
stuff.